voisins, les voisines, dont les ombres chinoises ondulent sur les volets. Je me suis inventé un amour pantomime où glissent en or et noir tes bas sur tes mollets. De ma fenêtre en face, je caresse le plexiglas.
Good evening, I'm Bianca Wright. I'm a second year journalism student. I'm here at the Alliance Française improving my French and learning about the Ironman project, as well as other media projects about French. And in relation to that, I'll be interviewing Dr. Bianca Wright, who is the head of the Department of Journalism, Media and Philosophy, and she'll be telling a little bit about the project she's involved in. Good evening, Dr. Wright.
Good evening.
Could you please tell us a little more about the French media project?
Well, I think the project really stems from a need, or a desire rather, from both sides to really integrate French more into the curricula of both the National Diploma in Journalism and the BA Media Communication and Culture. And the idea is really to look at ways in which the two disciplines, the broad discipline of media, which encompasses journalism, and then of course the language of French, can come together so that students really see the value and the relevance of French as a language of study, and how they could use it in their career going forward. So I think that's really the idea. The project itself is focused on not only improving spoken French, but then also written, and then also integrating multimedia skills into that broader language basis, I suppose.
Multimedia skills such as?
Well, putting the blog together, I think putting together little video clips, being able to integrate that, having photography, having articles written in both English and in French, and being able to practice journalism within the context of the study of French, which I think is something that's unique. I think it's something that hasn't been done before, and I think that's something that really sets apart the program that we have at NMMU.
And what is your role in this project?
Well, I don't take a particularly big role, more an advisory role in terms of providing some feedback on angles, for example, ideas for stories, and then just to be involved in terms of supporting the project and liaising with the different parties involved and providing some advice from the journalism and the multimedia perspective. From a practical perspective, I haven't done a lot in terms of actually putting that together. That is all Dr. Thomas and Carol and Dr. Franken and the students themselves. And I think that's what's exciting about a project like this, because you're actually getting students to take ownership of their learning. They're going out of the classroom, they're having opportunities to interact and to see how what they are learning in a classroom situation can be applied outside. So it's not for us to sit and do it for them, but rather for the students themselves to take ownership of that.
All right, that sounds interesting. Okay, we all know that you're involved in journalism and the media department, but why specifically French? Do you have a certain interest in French?
Well, I have a personal interest in French. My mother is head of French at NMMU, and then I also, in my undergraduate degree, I majored in English and French. And I think the French language is beautiful. I think it's a worthwhile language to learn, and I can see the value. I think also looking around, I look at job ads very often, and I look at international job ads, and I do see an increasing need for bilingual graduates who are going to go out into the industry, into the broader community, either in Francophone Africa or in Europe, and use French and English understanding of that to be able to secure a career in that regard.
Okay, so let's say, for instance, some of the students wanted to get involved in this project. What could you tell them?
Well, I think if they're getting involved with the project, I think it's going to be something that's going to test them, it's going to challenge them, it's going to put them on the spot, but it's also going to show them how far they've come. I think when you take a group of students who've never learned French before and you start with them in first year, they have no idea what they're capable of and how far they can actually get. And I think being involved in a project like this gives them a sense of confidence that actually I can do this, I can ask questions, I can interview people, I can write articles, I can use what I'm learning in the classroom in a practical way. And I think it's becoming more important in the current context because students want to see the practical value of what they're doing. It's not enough just to get a university education now. They want to see what is this going to do for me. And I think a project like this definitely emphasizes what it can do for you.
Okay, thank you so much for your insights, and I'd very much like to see how this project turns out.
Thank you.
J'ai toujours